I'm your type, lend me your ears to show you that there's...
It's effing Monday here on UCY.TV, and if you tried to get into the chat room, you know it's effing Monday because the page would have been effed for a minute. But thanks to Paul working his butt off for the network, got us back into chat. Thumbs up, brother. Appreciate you. Love you much. Him and Jules are a hell of a tag team. They keep this network humming right along. And here we are, live Monday Night Radio. This is Boiler Room. You are listening to me and my large mouth, UCY.TV. And there's another large mouth over there on the East Coast. His name is Lance Musser. Good evening, Lance. How are you?
Hey, good evening, brother.
So you're getting the snow that I got yesterday.
About 4, maybe 3 inches. Started out with an inch of sleet at least.
Oh yeah, we had 2
and
of
then
that.
Covered with snow and
2 of that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
a nasty mess, yeah. And then we got down to like 4 degrees here, I think, overnight last night. So all the ice was just solid. You know, the snow pushed right off top, but the ice was rock solid.
Yeah, 21 degrees is going to be the low here tonight.
Yeah, that's one good thing about being by the coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you go 10, 20 miles inland and it's 10 degrees difference.
Okay.
But that warm air coming off the water really helps us.
Got that big heat sink right out your door.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's dive right on into Smoke'em's Market Minute, man. That about sums it up. Whew.
Yeah, Ukraine's really got everybody busy. Ukraine is will it be the catalyst? I don't know. I was talking about that earlier, but it's got all the markets spooked, except the bond market, which I'll get into in just a minute. But all the major indices were down today. The bond market was up today, though. And I'll go ahead and, tell you why, because when it comes to the monetary policy, of course, Fed Reserve Chairman Yellen is doing all she can to ensure that there's little difference between herself and Bernanke. So just stroking right along.
Stroking, that's pretty good. Stroking.
They're stroking right along. Just the, propping up the illusion that the markets are still doing good. Once they really have to raise interest rates, shit could hit the fan at that point if it doesn't for some other reason. But that was one of the reasons that the bond market was still going strong, just because everybody sees, okay, she's going to do the same thing he was.
Because she's a puppet just like he is.
Exactly. So we've got, brother and sister.
Open ass, insert hand.
When she spoke last Friday and the senators were grilling her, Bachmann was actually the one that was grilling her about auditing their books. And, man, you should have seen the demeanor change on that woman. I think you did. I think I sent you the video.
It was
Because she was answering all the questions. Oh, yeah.
The switch.
Oh, yeah. Just holly jolly and
How
answering all the
dare
questions.
you say that to me on this network?
Oh, yeah. She was just like,
we tell you what to say.
Yeah, she was like, it won't do any good for anybody to be looking over our shoulders, questioning our spending, yada, yada. Yeah, sure it wouldn't.
You say that to your husband when you go to balance your checkbook?
Yeah. So, I think one other, and it, you know, market reporting is light because Ukraine has taken over the spotlight on everything.
It's on Wall Street, man. They're thinking the exact same thing I was thinking yesterday and the day before, and we've been talking about for the last 48 hours. Is this the start of WW3?
Could be. There's a lot at stake over the next week. So we'll see what's going on.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's what the market, everybody's like biting their nails. Holy crap. What's going on over there?
They are. They really are. One of the, another one of the problems that we're facing at home is something that Buffett, actually came out and reported third. So that was what, yesterday?
He actually put his ice cream down, down long enough to say something.
He did.
Nice.
And what he had to say should wake people up because he's actually been saying it for a while. Public pension plans are one of the biggest threats to an individual city's financial health. We saw it with Detroit. Oh, yeah. I mean, not because the money shouldn't have been there, but it's because they've been raided.
Well, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah. Just the obligations that they have to future retarees. I mean, he said is going to bankrupt a lot of
look Detroit,
places over
anybody,
the next
Chicago,
decade.
Anybody, Philadelphia, New York, LA,
I'm
Dallas,
surprised
Fort
Chicago.
Worth.
I'm surprised there hasn't been another one since we
you.
saw Detroit roll.
I'm telling you, because Chicago's right there, brother. They're like, I don't know, 200 billion in debt or something. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's mind boggling. So go ahead. Sorry.
If you were $17 trillion in debt, do you think somebody should take the checkbook away from you? Why do you still have a checkbook if you're $17 trillion?
Take the checkbook away from you and slap you with it 100 times. You know, and this is exactly here. Look, everybody out there that has kids, if this whole thing stays together, which I doubt, but if it does, their grandchildren aren't going to be able to pay off this debt. You feel me, people? This spending is out of control. Been out of control for a hot minute.
Well, I think it's that black budget that just saps everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah. Okay, go ahead. Never mind. I'm not.
And that would be why she's so got her panties all up in a bunch about any audits, because you know that money rolls through there anyway.
Why do you think they haven't been inside Fort Knox for 30 years? It's there. It ain't there.
The janitor hadn't even had to go there because there's nothing to clean up. So that's my market minute right there. I know Manarino had some decent stuff to say.
Yeah, but he's 10 minutes long, man.
Yeah, he's never worth 10 minutes.
No. We'll get to about the 6 minute, I think, is where he started going back to what I was telling you, people.
Yep,
okay,
exactly.
So
yep.
We'll see. But let's give Scott his 221 tonight, and here we go. No ad. All right.
Scott Nisla Hyper Report. Here are quotes for various items. First, Sarah's prediction. Whatever you may think of Sarah Palin, she absolutely has the right to tell everyone I told you so. She accurately predicted in October 2008 that when Putin invades the Ukraine, Obama's reaction would be one of indecision and moral equivalence. She's happy to highlight that prediction and scold those who criticized her, as she could see this one from Alaska. Next, printing versus GDP growth. If one observes a chart of GDP growth and global money printing since October 2008, one thing becomes extremely clear. The law of diminishing returns is more apparent as the $8 trillion worth of global fiat printing since 2008 has corresponded with shrinking GDP. Next, Goldfix study. The London Goldfix, the benchmark used by miners, jewelers, and central banks to value the metal, may have been manipulated for decades by banks setting it, researchers say. Unusual trading patterns around 3 p.m. in London when the so-called afternoon fix is set in a private conference call between the 5 of the biggest gold dealers are a sign of collusion behavior and should be investigated. But don't hold your breath on any real investigation happening soon. Next, banks are changing. We are beginning to see cracks in the overall bearish sentiments towards gold by bank analysts. Bank analysts are effectively totally reactive in their analysis and forecasting of precious metal prices. A so-called turnaround in the draining of gold from the big gold ETFs is perhaps an underestimated driver in this respect. Oh, let's not forget physical gold demand from countries like China and India. So, with gold supply dropping with increased demand, get ready for the paper manipulators of gold to get squeezed. Next, Hillary's health. More and more, the wicked witch Hillary may not run for the puppet or presidency in 2016 because of health. What, she can't find any children to eat? She could have a brain tumor. Therefore, maybe doctors will recommend the removal of the infected organ. Next, no more secrets. With 50,000 Social Security numbers printed on health magazines along with a security joke that is Obama wreck, why even guard this number? Of course, this was the plan all along to force everyone to use an implantable chip for biometric identification. Next, Obama wreck for Canadians? Leave it to Biden to unknowingly try to sell Obama wreck to a visiting Canadian woman. Sadly, this Canadian woman is for Obama wreck. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
My little post-it note to Hillary Clinton. You can try to whitewash it any way you want to, lady. You stuck your feet in the water to test for your presidency, and you got Benghazi shoved down your throat. You know there is no way you're going to make it into that White House, woman. Bow out.
I disagree. I disagree. I've said it before. If she runs, she will win.
No,
because
she's already footed that she's not going to be able to run because of health problems.
Well,
that's exactly what I'm telling you. She sent out all those letters. She sent out all those letters like the one you got me. Mm-hmm. And she got an earful from the American people. So there is no way, lady, you are going to make it into the White House. There is no way. So now, since she's tested the waters and she knows, she's done. You watch. I'm telling you.
I've said
that could not be covered up. That Benghazi could not be covered up. Her face on national television before the Congress saying, "What does it matter?"
Yeah.
That's never going away. That's her. They're going to type that on her.
That's her Waterloo. That's her Waterloo, as they say. I've said from the get-go, even before Obama was elected the first time, that he would be the last president. He would name himself to a third term, rewrite I remember you saying. Rewrite it or declare martial law. And as long as you declare martial law, you suspend all. Congress
stays put. Everybody stays put. No exactly. Changing of the guard on the Supreme Court. No, nada.
Nothing. I've said that it would, not to delve off into prophecy, but it would fulfill a prophecy. If it happened, if Clinton runs, she'll win because they wouldn't let her run unless they're going to put her ass in the White House. If Bush versus Gore doesn't prove to the American people that their vote doesn't mean jack crap, that whoever they want to run will get into that office. If she runs, she'll get into that office.
Jeb Bush is throwing his hat in there, man. You guys want 3 bushes?
I don't know if we can do another Bush. I don't know if we can do another Bush.
It don't matter. I mean, it's not going to matter what their name is. They're going to do exactly what they're told to do. You and I both know that. I mean, we know that looking back over history, it was all the fucking game. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. All of it was a game.
I will, speaking of games, I'll touch on what Scott said when he was talking about gold.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gold, no fever like gold fever, as the old saying goes. And when gold fever takes hold, the results can be spectacular. It's what great empires tend to accumulate, like trophy wives, gold goes to the winners. In the 16th century, Spain collected all the world's gold. That was the world's currency. In the 17th century, the Netherlands was where the gold coins rolled, the world currency. In the 18th century, France was the world's richest nation. In the 19th century, Britain brought home the world's gold. And in the 20th century, you got it, us, with the largest hold of gold on the planet. But who's the biggest buyer of gold today?
China.
And they are preparing to take their place on the world's largest stage as the next world's currency.
It's actually China, India, USA. Right. We are number 3 in consumption.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, if you follow the gold and world currencies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're on 5 of them, getting ready to go to the 6th. The world currency goes where the gold is. We don't have any.
Wah, wah.
I think so.
We try to play off like, I think the U.S. says that they have 9,400 tons or something in
gold?
reserve. Yeah, that's what the United States says that they have in strategic reserve.
Of iron painted gold.
Right. Yeah. No, it's just digits on a Rothschild computer, man.
That's right. You can't come within 50 feet of it, but you can look at it through this window.
There's the hard drive. There's the 9,400 tons right there in that hard drive.
That's it. We'll give you some Bitcoin in lieu of this gold.
Oh, shoot. China, what was it, 2 weeks ago? They bought 64 tons in 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
64 tons of gold in 7 days. That's just that's a mind-boggling amount of money at current prices.
It is, and they've got their own problems. I mean, they're not all living high on the hog while we're over here, in an economic crisis. They've got their own economic crisis.
Yeah,
and
there's people eating dirt over there to try to stay alive.
Thank you. And they've got their own uprisings too over human rights and stuff. We just don't hear about it because there's other things more important to our media and even our alternative media. China's got their own problems, but they've got all the gold, so that'll help solve a lot of those problems.
They got all the production too. They make everything on the freaking planet.
They damn sure do. Taiwan, Singapore, all of those.
Okay, let's dive off into here and let Greggy speak for a little while until we get tired of listening to him repeat himself.
Mm-hmm.
So stand by, everybody. Mr. Manarino.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Gregory Manarino. How are you today? It is Monday, March 3rd, 2014.
We're doing good, brother.
All right, people. A lot going on. I really hope you're paying attention to global events here.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened today in the U.S. equity markets, something I've been forewarning about for about 2 weeks. And I believe that more losses are coming. All of the major indices finished down today. The Dow lost 155 points. The NASDAQ, the S&P, all about the same on a percentage basis. We saw a lot of bottom fishing later on in the day. We saw the same thing happen on Friday. And those people that tried to bottom fish, they got crushed today. And I am willing to believe the ones that did that again today who are being misled, and we're going to talk about that, are going to get crushed as well here. This is not a buying opportunity. People, please check my channel. If you look at this click on this little head here. I've gone over video after video after video why you need to get away from this U.S. stock market at this time and find a way to protect your assets. Again, I'm almost 100% convinced that we are going to see further and possibly sustained losses here. A lot of this has to do with what's going on here with the Ukraine and Russia. But you have to understand what's going on here in the markets, people.
I want to stop him for just 1 second, Lance.
We have an equity market here.
Yeah.
Further and sustained losses. Sustained losses meaning that there is going to be a correction in the market and it's going to stay corrected for quite a minute. Is that what he means by sustained losses?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like it's getting ready to drop and then it's going to stay there.
everybody knows, everybody said that when there's a correction, it's going to correct 20%.
At least.
At least 20%, which is what it did
George
last
Soros
time.
thinks it's going to go to zero.
He's looking for a total crash, and he's got his money put.
And how long is that put for? When's it supposed to be wind up at a goose egg?
I could not find anything on it. None of the articles I saw mentioned it. I know you mentioned it one time, but I can't remember what that date was.
I heard somebody say June. I don't know. I just heard somebody say June. That's like, whatever. But I don't know. Okay, back to Greg.
Mm-hmm.
United States that is hyper leveraged. What I mean by hyper leveraged is very simple. We have individuals, businesses who are trading on a margin and they've maxed it out. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen this level of leverage in the market since just prior to the last crash that we had. So that's very telling. Again, a lot of bulls here, way too many bulls here, so many tells, to me at least, that say this market is ripe to fall here. I can't imagine any trader or investor can look back and say that these valuations are attractive. They're absolutely not attractive in this market. And if any of you believe they are, please comment here. I would love to read them. You'd be hard pressed to really convince me about that. But what happened today? As the market was falling, the market was down about 250 points. I'm referring to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. They called out all their big guns. They had Warren Buffett out there saying, oh, no. This is the time to buy stocks. And you have other individuals coming out saying, oh, there's cash waiting on the sidelines. Really? Interesting. Then why do we have a market that's hyper leveraged? You understand, people? They're spinning this. They will never tell you that there's a selling opportunity. They will always tell you it's a buying opportunity. You got to be nuts. And I've gone over that too here. Today we got economic news. Oh, pretty much all of it was pretty good. Are you surprised by that? Absolutely not. I'm sure you would agree with me. As a matter of fact, consumer spending, they tried to spin this one today. They said consumer spending came in way above estimates. Really? What they didn't tell you is the reason for that is because people are spending more cash on utilities.
Bullshit.
Cold weather. So this doesn't mean they have more disposable income. This just means that they're spending it on bills. It's insanity, people. Again, it's all about perception. It's not about reality. Again, I want you to really sit back and try to take in what's going on here on a global level. Look at the fundamentals of this market. That's what's supposed to support it. And you will come to the same conclusion, I believe, that I have. That is, you need to be either finding a way to protect your assets right now.
Get out of the market.
Or you need to be getting short this market. I've been
get your
buying
401k out,
this market
cash it out,
for
get out
about
of the
a week and a
market.
half to 2 weeks now, just like George Soros. George Soros is doing the same thing. And it's not just George Soros and the Greg Manarinos of the world that are doing this. It's all the investment banks. People understand. Please understand this. These investment banks, all of them, do prop trading or proprietary trading. That means they trade in their interest, not yours. So again, they want to keep you in this market in any possible way they can. They want to keep you buying stocks. Meanwhile, they're going short here. They want the liquidity. So when this rolls over, it's just a wealth transfer. Again, I've gone over this and I'm going to say it again. I don't care.
He doesn't
this
care.
Cash that you lose, if you have a 401k plan today, you took some losses.
Yes, you
that
did.
cash
That's why I'm
did
telling
not
you to
go
get
to
out.
heaven. It was simply transferred
from your pocket to his.
Those that are short this market and are betting that it will go down. And we're seeing more and more of this, people. This should be another wake-up call for you. It's no secret that more and more of the institutional traders and investors are getting short this market.
Because they know what's coming.
All right, and I'm trying my hardest here. Please, really, check my channel. Click this head, and you will see video after video of a warning to every one of you about what may be right on the horizon here. Today may just be the beginning of it. And I'm not saying this is going to go down in a linear fashion. It's a random walk. Again, geopolitical events profound right now. A hyper-leveraged market.
Okay, he's starting to repeat himself, as you can hear.
We'll stop. Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and fade him to black and continue on. Get your money out of the market. If you have a 401k, I've been screaming this for weeks and weeks and weeks. We both have, Lance. Get it out. You took a hit today. The market was down, what, 200 plus?
Almost. It ended like 150.
Okay. So, yeah, you took some losses today. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out.
Yeah, because when it goes, it will go quick.
Yes.
Just like it did last time.
You've seen charts. I mean, Greg's shown you charts. If you watch his videos when I drop them into the room or whatever, if you guys subscribe to his channel, you've seen the correlations, the expanding wedge, the everything. Every indicator is showing that this market's getting ready to take a nosedive.
And all these indicators that we're comparing them to are from 2008 and then the 1912 crash. But the thing is it really, really crashed in 2008, but they put it on life support. It's like it's like keeping your grandmother alive on a machine after she's brain dead. That's what they've done to the economy just to keep it along. It died in 2008.
Max Kaiser even said that if it wasn't for a lot of the drug money that these banks were laundering, they would have collapsed after the 2008 shit.
If they didn't have illegal money, yeah.
Exactly. So thanks, cartel. But yeah, for the last, 6 years going, 6 years, they've just been raping this country, stealing your wealth. Look, we bailed these banks out to the tune of trillions of dollars, and then they had the gall to pay their executives bonuses. Come on, people. Are you that asleep, man? Really? Are you people that asleep that you're going to let them get away? Nobody said anything.
What was it?
It was crickets, just like when we invaded Iraq after 9/11. They didn't have nothing to do with 9/11. It was crickets. There was crickets in this country. Nobody said shit. Because it's on TV.
I was going to say, they were saying shit, but they were going, proud to be an American. They were singing that Greenwood song.
Made it to Baghdad in 3 days.
Exactly. I listened to Kerry.
America. Pew, pew, pew.
I listened to Kerry talk on, what was it, Saturday or Sunday?
Oh God.
Whatever day it was.
Did he have a huge ass black eye, or was that just me?
I didn't see it. I've just heard it and read it. And just the hypocritical, the audacity for him to get on the world stage. I'm ashamed to have a passport to the same country with that dumbass that got up there and
not invade a country.
I thought he was talking about America invading Iraq when he was like,
and the guy,
the
reporter didn't even say, excuse me, Iraq, Syria, Libya.
Well, if you remember, they've been caught before actually doing their press briefs behind the scene with no reporters and then coming out and then recording reporters' questions, so they've been caught doing that.
Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous though, dude. That's why everybody around the world laughs at us.
That comment right there has got more memes going around Facebook that just, RT's jumping all over them. But again, Olga's awakened me a little bit more to what RT truly is. And the more stories I read on them, I see that they're really, really, really pro-Russia.
Oh, well, duh. RT, it's Russian television. Come on, man. You got to be able to chew through the fat. You know what I mean? The stories that they print about the United States and the heinous crap that we do are pretty accurate because they want to drag us through the dirt. That's why I read RT. That's why I watch RT, because I'm listening for the United States stories and gives me something, to get my hooks into. And then I do my own little investigating and I see what I find.
Right.
But the United States, this is breaking news right now, people. I don't know who knows this, but this is breaking news. The United States suspends trade talks with and military cooperation with Russia over the whole Ukraine invasion thing. So that just happened within the last, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 minutes probably. So we have suspended all cooperation militarily and trade-wise with Russia. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that just came out on Reuters because I just saw it pop up a little while ago too.
That's
and
Huffington
huge. Post put it out too. So it's
HuffPo.
Mm-hmm.
Ariana Huffington is just oh, never mind. I won't even say. Anyhow,
a shill.
Yeah, something like that. You know, and let's go ahead and jump. I want to go down a different track here for just a minute. I want to talk about some of this weather. I put a little video out today on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. I took my new radiation monitor outside and laid it down by the snow and got some rad readings. And it wasn't anything. I mean, I don't know, background here. When I got the meter, I went outside and it was the same as it was today by the snow. About between 25 and 40 counts a minute. So I don't know what background's supposed to be in this area. I don't know what it was back in the 40s before they started exploding all kinds of bombs in our atmosphere and stuff like that. But
can I say 0? But I mean, that's just a guess.
Well, no, there's natural radiation coming out. You know what I mean? There's natural radiation from the sun and coming out of the earth from the rain.
True, not a whole lot, but yeah.
But you know, it's like I think on my civil defense thing, it was 14 for the Illinois area, the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's quite a bit higher now. But that's because we've, you know, what does Kevin say? There was 50 some odd tests between 51 and 68 or something, or 200, 300 tests or something, air bursts in this country. Just an insane amount. I can't remember what the exact number is, but more than there should have been. Should have been like 0.
Well, thank goodness that they raised the acceptable levels, because then I'd be worried. I'd be worried if they hadn't raised the acceptable levels. So
thank you, EPA. Makes us all safer.
Yeah, thank you.
But anyway, with these storms and stuff, I have to say something that I saw. Every single storm that we've had go through the United States this year, there has been a big pile of jackasses getting in wrecks on the road like they've never driven in snow before. Now look, people, I can't express this enough. This has happened before in history. Snow has hit the ground before in history. You've driven on it before. What in the hell is your problems? Why are you wrecking? Why are you even trying to drive if they're building these storms up to be as big as they are? You know, this is just insanity. You people out here in this country have taken entirely too many vaccines. You have eaten entirely too many GMO crops. You have drank entirely too much fluoridated water. I cannot believe the stupidity of this country. You people boggle my mind. Now look, we've had 3 of these megastorms go through. This is what they're hyping them up to be, megastorms, go through in this season. And you people are still wrecking on the effing roads. Is your attention span really that shallow now? Are you really down to a 30-second soundbite? Pay attention to what the hell you're doing, people. There's other people on the road that you're injuring and killing because you're a moron. I need a drink, Lance. Take over.
You can't fix stupid.
I'm telling you, man, you know.
You can't fix stupid. I think the problem, and this is just my opinion, because I did live in the South for a little bit, farther south than what I am now. They're totally underestimating.
I'm not even talking about the idiots in Georgia.
Well,
the accident that I saw was in Indianapolis. Prepper Chicks, you're in the room, I think. Prepper Chicks, I think I saw you in there. What is going on in that city? Those people go through that shit every year. I lived in Indianapolis for a while. You know, you go through it every year. What the hell's going on there? Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't know they were having big ones up there. I've seen the big ones on the news. They're making the big deals out of the ones in the South. I can totally understand that. You don't get it a whole lot down there. You could go 6, 7, 8 winters and never get a snow or ice or be able to make a snowman or a snowball. Now, they're experiencing something that they don't experience and they just don't know.
She says they're all NASCAR drivers in the room. Yeah, I guess, man. You get on, the 465 and just shoot the loop at 75, 80 miles an hour. I tell you, but there's so much construction going on that loop constantly. You can't even, it's ridiculous, man. Orange barrels. I remember the song, man.
Everybody's got some place to be and they've got to get there quick for some reason.
They want to be the first one to the goddamn wreck. Yeah, I'm serious, man. That's what we used to say on the CB. You see when them jackasses go by at 90? Hey, there he goes, the first one to the wreck.
First one to the wreck. First one at the scene of the crime.
Right. And then, 20 minutes later, when the road turns to shit, because it actually dropped below freezing about 5 degrees and the shit's sticking to the ground, then you see that dude off in the ditch, waving, trying to flag somebody down, and you just drive by and wave at him. Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah.
I don't stop for him no more. If they're over 70, maybe I'll stop and help. But a stupid ass, no, not going to do it.
Let me throw this.
Yeah, get on your $500 cell phone and call for your wrecker.
Let me throw this out there too. And I see Prepper Chicks. You just talked about salt. They ran out of salt. I was watching the news tonight just so I could catch the weather, and they were talking about DC, and they were interviewing the Northern Virginia guy because they declared a state of emergency here.
Oh boy.
They budgeted $50 million or $55 million for supplies, for road clearing, et cetera, et cetera. They're already at $115 million cost. So, you got to wonder if they're trying to spread it.
That's because all the salt suppliers tripled their. No,
but yeah, right. Supply and demand, baby. They say, hey, the government's buying this shit, but maybe they're spreading it out a little bit more.
The whole underneath Lake Michigan as fast as we can.
Yeah. Is that in that,
that's where most of that salt's coming from, man.
Is that cavern that was caving in? Was in Ohio, Cleveland or something?
Right there offshore, man. Yeah, the whole, yep. And they're digging a huge one underneath Lake Michigan too. Just wait. That's a huge amount of water. Those people, I can't believe anybody even gave them the go ahead to do that.
Well, I remember that one. It's like 18 stories underneath of Lake Michigan right there at the Ohio, or Lake Erie, whichever they border right there.
Right.
But it's like 18 stories down and it was starting to cave in, but their entire salt for the entire area for the roads came from that mine. And they were talking about how it would raise cost if they had to bring it in from elsewhere. So, I wonder if the roads, if they're trying to spread it around a little bit more thin and, maybe the roads are more slick. Who knows? But
they switched over to using fracking fluid up in New York from what Jules been saying on her show, man.
Fracking fluid?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. They're spraying it all over the roads up there.
Jeez.
That's just stupid, man. Here's some toxic shit for you people. The chemtrails aren't enough. So here's some on the roads. And when it dries up, when it finally dries up and shit, it's either going to run off with the runoff and go into the lakes and streams and kill people's grass and whatever. Or when it dries up and turns to powder on the road, then when people are driving through it, it gets aerosolized and then
animals drink from the puddles and
right. But then you breathe it.
Yeah.
And your kids and your pets.
Yeah. It was nice to see Los Angeles banned all fracking. So
just in LA County though.
Yeah, just Los Angeles.
So that means that Los Angeles County is going to be ringed by fracking wells now.
Yeah.
And they're fracking offshore now. Did you know that? Somebody told me, I heard it on the RT earlier today. They're fracking offshore, and they've got permits now. Some guy found them when he was doing his little FOIA requests to dump 9 billion gallons of fracking fluid into the Pacific Ocean. It's okay for them. 9 billion a year. 9 billion gallons of fracking fluid can go into the Pacific every year from their fracking wells out there.
Well, that's nothing compared to the Fukushima, what it's dumping in the Pacific Ocean.
I know, but I mean, it's bioaccumulation. Fukushima's not killing off the whales and shit fast enough, so let's dump some fracking fluid in there too. Mix up the soup. That place is going to be so thick with toxicity, you'll be able to walk across it pretty soon. All the dead fish floating to the surface. Whales are, I don't think I've ever seen a humongous, like sperm whale, something like that, washed up on shore. Not very often anyway. You don't see those stories very often. I think I've seen 3 in the last 18 months.
Yeah, with
huge,
mass.
not the little pods of whales that wash up and, down in Chile and shit like that. But I mean a big sperm whale laying on the beach. Stone cold dead.
It's freaky weather, freaky stuff. Cause, it's cold and it's weird weather. Well, you never know. But I mean, you look at the other side of the world in Australia and in places like that, they got their hottest record, hottest year on record, while we have the exact opposite. Very interesting because our summer here was very mild. We didn't have but maybe 2 days above 100, where normally we have 15 straight. So it'll be interesting to see if we have weird summer. Well, if it's flipping over, then it should be a mild summer. So we'll see what happens.
We're fixed to find out.
We're fixing to find out. We don't have long to wait.
Well, like I told you last week, man, this is in this area where I moved. It was the largest snowfall that they've had in 100 years.
They probably blamed it on you. You brought it with you.
Shh. Illinois is getting pounded. Whole Midwest is getting pounded. That's prepper chicks, man. They're getting pounded through there.
My family is in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they tell me about it. Text me all the time. They're getting pounded too.
Yeah, it got down to 5 degrees here last night, dude. So I can imagine what it was up in, Wisconsin, Dakotas. Yikes.
It was 70 degrees yesterday. 70 degrees here. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and it was 21 as a high today. You went from shorts and a t-shirt to scarf, hat, gloves, London fog.
They did that in Texas too. Texas had like a 80 degree or a 60 degree swing. It went from 80 to 20 in a day.
One day.
Freaky.
It's interesting.
Tell me the planet's not flipping upside down, dude. Honestly.
All the volcanoes going off at the same time.
Right. Tell me it's not happening.
Well, we know it is, and that's why, to get off track, if you're going to talk about the flipping, I know when I was looking at my little GPS, my satellite thing that shows all the constellations, why it was pointing at a direction and then everything was off a little bit. It's because of the flip. Because of the flip that's going on.
They've had to repaint runway numbers, dude.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's
farther
why.
south, like in South Texas and South Florida. Yeah, because the guys would come in on their little computerized dealie, and they'd follow the computerized compass, and the computerized compass would be off from the earth. They'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm missing the runway." Hey, dude, I'd have to correct 3 degrees when I was coming in because I almost missed. And they got tired of hearing it, so they went down there and painted the runways over. So instead of 5 north, it's 5 northeast.
And I'm sure that's why my little Star Walk app it would be pointing at something, but it would show it maybe 20 degrees over to the left of where it was. Venus, because I kept saying, man, I'm telling you, that's not, it's maybe Venus, but it's not where it's supposed to be.
Not according to my little electronic thingy that a human made.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was programmed because science is smart enough to know where the planets are supposed to be based on your position.
Right. But
so it was pointing somewhere where it wasn't because I think, same thing that's causing the weather to go weird.
Yeah. And you can't even trust a regular linear compass now, not even an electronic one, because it's moving. You know what I mean? The North Pole's moving like 30 miles a year, 35 miles a year.
Yep.
So you can't trust your compass anymore. Prepping, when it comes to prepping, you better take that into consideration, folks. all you map wizards, plotting coordinates. North Pole's moving. Remember that.
Well, I mean, that's why there's.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Okay, if let's say, and we're going to go down a rabbit hole here. We're down to the last 13 minutes of the show. So here we go. We're going to talk about getting out of town. Some shit hit the fan situation. Comet strike, let's say. Comet strike or tectonic. Let's do super volcano. Let's do. I
was about to say, let's do Yellowstone because that seems to be the next one.
Okay, here we go. This is our scenario for tonight. The super volcano goes off in Yellowstone, and there's a huge shake in the no, it's not the Crimean plate. What is it? What are we on?
Madrid.
The North American plate, the Craton.
Okay.
The North American Craton. There's a huge shake. And all these bridges and stuff are collapsing for, let's say 500 miles from the epicenter. And you got to get out of town now. You're on a hustle. Your feet are moving. Before you ever got out of bed, your feet were moving. But you can't use the roads like you normally would to get out of town. You have to rely on your map. You have to rely on your compass. You have to try to navigate your way through the melee. Because there's bridges down, there's cracks in the pavement, there's, you name it, right? How good are you at navigating? When's the last time you picked up a map, Lance, and tried to navigate? 80 something?
Probably when I got out of the Army. Cause, maybe even a couple years after that, when we would take road trips, I still remember I was talking to my dad about it. Last time we took a trip, I was like, man, you remember we'd have to have an atlas and we'd highlight it and you'd call AAA and you'd say, hey, I'm going to here. And they would print you out the directions exit by exit, which is what your GPS walks you through now. And I'm like, I pulled out a map and we started looking at it. I could do it from a map with no problem just because I think it's like riding a bike. And I read it so many maps when I was in the Army. I don't think it's something I would ever forget.
Okay. I got that. But I mean, if you were trying to, use your compass, navigate with your compass and the north is off now, right? Okay. North is off. So you got to really kind of know. I mean, you got to keep up with how far it is magnetic north off of where it should be and what your map's laid out to. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take all that into consideration. And the best thing that I can tell people when it comes to doing something like this, and if you're not for sure of what kind of instrument you're using, because if you're using a GPS in your car, good luck. Good luck with that. Those satellites are very unpredictable. And I personally know that my GPS is off by about 700 meters.
How many times have you been driving down the road to a destination that says you have arrived and you were in a cornfield and you're going, no, I don't think I've arrived yet.
Right. Yeah.
So they're not right either. You can't trust them all the time.
No. But look for, just around your natural area, around your normal area where you go all the time. People are in such a fog and they do a daily routine every time. You know what I mean? They don't have situational awareness going on. And I can't hype that enough. People need to get more situationally aware of what's going on around them all the time. Now, I don't mean you got to walk around being nervous Nelly, but you just need to be aware of what's happening to everything that's going on around you all the time,
I assess I walk into a room and just kind of glance around and assess every situation. I drive different ways to work. Every couple days, I'll drive a different way to work.
Yeah, that helps to avoid ambush.
Yeah, just to mess things up, Yeah.
Keep them on their toes. Keep that black fan on his toes.
Exactly.
But when you're driving around, if you're going to take this SHTF scenario into the back pocket and kind of, think about it from time to time. Use natural landmarks. Don't use man-made landmarks because towers fall, buildings crumble, stuff like that. Use natural landmarks to know what direction's what, where you're headed.
A topography map would be helpful.
Yeah, that's what I bought when I first got here. I bought a topographical map of this area so that I know the depth of the waters and the height of the mountains around me and the depths of the valleys and where they're located, how they're situated, where the dams are, where the creeks run. It's good. Helps you find natural water sources.
I got to tell you though, if Yellowstone, if I had to evacuate, I'd be staying right here. Just because I would be heading into it by heading west.
True. But it's going to make it everywhere.
So where my bug out would be one of those tsunamis. That's always what I'm fearing. Is the Japan style tsunami or.
You got to make that 150 miles quick, dude.
Quick. I've got my route planned, if it ever happens, but it's across 2 bridges. So you got to get there quick.
That's why you need to have Route B and Route C.
Yep.
That don't have bridges. You might have to drive up a valley and it might be a dangerous route going that way, but it might be a less traveled road. You know what I mean? You're not going to run into near as much traffic because everybody's going to be clamoring for the superhighways and shit to try to get out as fast as they can, right? They want to get on the interstate and mash the gas.
Yeah, I would think so. Even when they evacuate for hurricanes and stuff like that.
That's what they make. The hurricane routes are all the interstates. And sometimes they'll close the southbound lanes and let them go that way, let them go north to get the hell out.
Yeah, they did that test here last summer.
So, but the bridges and stuff, let's go way out there because, we're getting ready to go through some comet debris. Let's take a meteor strike in the ocean off of your coast.
That's in May, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming right up here, brother.
It's in May, isn't it?
No, it's coming right. Like we're going to be going through it for quite a while.
Which one is that again? Elenin?
No, Leonid.
Leonid. That's it.
Yeah. Or no, Lanier. Isn't it, P?
There's another
2014 P Linear. It's a periodic comet. But anyway, we'll get that hammered out on Wednesday's show. But say a comet smashes into the Atlantic right there, 1,000 miles off your coastline.
That would be my bug out.
Shit, you got 20 minutes. That thing's going to be coming across the ocean at lightning speed, brother.
Yeah.
At jetliner speed.
Yep. That would be my bug out.
That would be your goodbye. Throw the kids in the back of the truck and haul.
That's why I want to get one of those tsunami balls. It looks like one of those old fashioned diving balls. Yeah. And then you get into it and it's like a roller coaster seat that you buckle yourself into.
Yeah, you wind up somewhere in Tennessee when the fucking wave goes out.
Exactly. It floats and it'll hold 4 people in water, and it's got a filtration system in it. That thing's like $25,000, but I'll tell you what, that is a cool tsunami ball.
Can you imagine how loud it would be in that thing? It's just banging off all the debris and shit when you're bouncing around in the water. Oh my goodness. You come out
and it's got portholes so you can see what's going on.
Right. Watch all the bodies floating by.
Well, you would, but
no, thank you.
That'd be my only chance.
You could always move. I'd try to tell that to people every time.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near a big city, get the hell out of that city right now, man.
Yeah, I'm not near a big city.
Get the hell out of that city right now. I'm talking to my friends that are in big cities. The people that are listening to me that are in big cities, get your ass out of that city. That's like a death trap, man. Those places are so full of stupid. It's not even funny. The closer I get to a city, the dumber I feel, just because of the wave of stupid coming off of it that emanates from, its epicenter. And it usually, the epicenter is usually right around the city hall, maybe the police department. But I just want, I guess the thing that I'm talking about with the people wrecking on the roads and, you know, I want people to start paying attention more with the whole situational awareness thing I was talking about just a second ago. It doesn't seem to me like people pay attention to what's going on around them. And when people talk to you, you just hear them. You don't listen anymore. People got a bad habit of just hearing. They got other things on their mind. They're distracted. They're doing whatever. They're thinking about what they got to buy at the store later on or whatever. They forgot how to listen. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to have a conversation with somebody and for them to actually listen to you. Feel where you're coming from. See your side of it. Step into your shoes, however you want to put the terminology. You know what I'm talking about, Lance. I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like conversation is a lost art form. It's been relegated to text boxes on your phone and instant messages on your screen and 30-second phone calls if you actually make a phone call now. That seems to be a lost art too, making a phone call. Answering a phone call. I can't tell you how many times I've called somebody and they don't answer, but 30 seconds later I'll get a text from them. It's like, what, dude, you were too busy to answer the phone? But you're not too busy to text me? You got some porn playing in the background or something you don't want me to hear? What's going on, man? You know? Have we lost that connection now? Does it have to become a text?
I communicate more with my clients through text than any other means of communication nowadays. Just because it's not intrusive, you can answer it when you want to. You could be sitting in a movie theater, you could be having dinner with somebody. But going on your conversations, nothing like having a conversation with somebody around a campfire at night or a fire chimney thing.
Right. Or even just standing around the grill of an evening, cooking dinner, you know, chatting with the kids or the girlfriend or the wife or whatever. You know, I mean, it's become like a lost art form. Everybody's too goddamn busy. You know? What's that old saying? I can't remember who said it. Get busy living or get busy dying. I think people need to get busy living again. You know? It's not just about existing on this planet. Everything doesn't revolve around your freaking paycheck. Pay more attention to your family, to what's going on around you on a daily basis, to your neighborhood maybe. Just pay more attention. Open your eyes a little wider tomorrow. See what you see that you haven't seen, that may have been right outside your door all this time. You might surprise yourself. Last minute. What do you got, buddy?
The awakening of consciousness is the next evolutionary step for mankind. And I hope that all of us are around to see it together.
Yeah, that's a good one. Evolve, everybody. Evolve already, will you? Let's all try to do that. Starting right now. Peace and love, y'all. Turboville's coming up next. Anti-Media Radio's up later on. Jules, I hope you got the phones because UCY TV was taken. So I'm on my own tonight.
It'll be an interesting 2 days for sure.
Yeah. Pay attention, everybody.
Yep. See you Wednesday night.
Eyes wide open. UCY.TV. See ya Wednesday. Thanks, Lance.
Night, brother.